Hello there. Let's look at some questions from Story 11 and try to answer them. The questions are divided into two parts. Let's begin with part 1 now. What was the cause of African Americans' discontentment? African Americans were denied fundamental human rights. They had no societal significance or value. They were handled as though they were slaves. This caused dissatisfaction among blacks. It was easy to remember. So, let us move on to the next question. What are the qualities of creative suffering veterans? Those who have experienced creative pain have the power of faith and hope. They never give up hope. On the contrary, they are confident that they will be redeemed. Yeah, that's right. What is Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream? Well, that's my favorite part of the chapter. I hope you remember. Martin Luther hoped that one day America would become a democratic state. People will be assessed based on their character rather than their skin color. As a result, in society, justice, equality, and togetherness shall flourish. I hope his dream comes true. Let's see what the next question is. What should be the faith of African Americans? How should African Americans continue to work? They must have trust in the ultimate redemption. They should keep working with the belief that excessive pain is redemptive. Keep going, friends. You remembered a lot of information. What was the necessity of pleading the case of the African Americans' freedom? Freedom is a fundamental human right. African Americans were treated as though they were slaves. As a result, there was a need to advocate for their freedom and guarantee equal rights to them. Let's move further to the next question. What should be a criterion of judgment for a person? A man's character should be assessed. A person's outward look does not validate their inner self. So this brings us to the last question. From which part of the country did the African Americans gather there? It was a large exhibition and gathering of black people. They had assembled from all around the nation. The majority of them had come from the country's south. That was fantastic. We now have a good understanding of Martin Luther King Jr.'s vision for a prosperous America free of discrimination. Now you can move on to part 2 and answer a few more questions.